beyond Dublin to Coventry. This week, their talismanic totem turned down the most lucrative contract the club has ever offered. Middlesbrough have agreed a fee for his services. The letters page of the local paper is full of accusations of greed, yet Dublin retains the armband of captaincy. The Coventry team, of which he's still for the moment a part, shows 3 changes. Roland Nielsen is back after flu, George Boateng after suspension, and Trond Egil Saltvedt after a spell on the bench. Defender Richard Shaw is the most unexpected absentee, dropped for the first time since Gordon Strachan took control. The Arsenal lineup shows a change of shape. Gone is 4-4-2. Wright and Overmars are both hamstrung, so there's another chance for Nicola Anelka, and there's a Premiership debut for 18-year-old Matthew Upson, whose only previous taste of league football was as a substitute for Luton Town. Stephen Lodge is, according to those who keep count, the least prolific brandisher of coloured cards in the Premiership, which may be just as well today because neither side's disciplinary record could be described as exemplary. Coventry kicking from the right, and the first long ball aimed towards Dublin, and fielded ultimately by David Seaman. Still 1 or 2 boos for the Coventry. Well, it was Keown's failure to clear convincingly that gave him the chance. Time to size it up, but no power to beat Seaman. He could be retreating, now turns and pursues it. In vain. Parler. Saltvedt can't get to him. In fact, hardly anyone can. It's still Parler. Down he goes. Burrows was the defender. Referee waves play on. And here's Saltvedt. Now, can he turn past Bold? He can lay it off. And it's in! Noel Whelan. It was a toss-up as to who would kick the ball, Dublin or Whelan. But Whelan showed no respect for seniority, jabbed his foot at the ball, and Seaman was beaten. Saltvedt, though, deserves all the credit. The Norwegian held it up, despite the attentions of Bold, who was tugging at his shirt. And then it was just a question of who would score. And the answer is Whelan, and more importantly, Coventry. Saltvedt is advanced in this attack. Made the pass to the very last moment. Telfer's cross, Saltvedt! No doubt the better football is coming now from the men in sky blue. Darren Huckabee! Well, Seaman got a touch to it, and as such, that was a fine save. But for Seaman's fingertips, it would have been another contender for goal of the month. Dublin! Well, where was Arsenal's marking at that set piece? Succeeded in staying onside, and has the legs on Keown. It's still Huckabee. But he has this mesmeric ability to keep the ball just about under control and close to his feet, and defenders are petrified of him. Bold. Hooked forward. No flag. It's Huckabee. Not for the first time of asking. Teasing the defender, and Upson did well to get a foot in. Whelan. Well, Upson recovered well a second time, but Patti's lost it. Arsenal conspiring to do their very best to give Coventry a second goal. Seaman hurls it out. Out by Williams. Referee has looked at his watch on a number of occasions. And as Boateng's clearance floats into opposition territory, Bold is the man who comes across. And the referee has seen enough for the time being. And so, I would imagine, have the fans who follow Arsenal. They have been ragged. The new system that they're playing doesn't seem to suit them. And Noel Whelan's goal separates the sides when, in truth, after Saltvedt with a driving display in the centre of midfield had urged them forward at every opportunity, they might, had Huckabee's finishing been a little steadier, have been 3 or even 4 goals clear. Winterburn. Boateng, dangerous. Given it to Bergkamp. Coventry on the defensive. Parler's making a run. It's Bergkamp. And Hedman needed 3 goes at it. Gremondi. Nielsen's header was uncertain. Oh, Williams has left the back pass short, and Bergkamp gets the equaliser. Poor Paul Williams, who hasn't put a foot wrong prior to that. A crucial mistake and a costly mistake. And Dennis Bergkamp scores in the Premiership for the first time in 15 weeks. The header back lacked weight, and Bergkamp finds the net in a league match for the first time since there were leaves on the tree and since there was a gusting wind in the sails of Arsenal's Premiership challenge. Parler to his right, Anelka ahead of him. Put into play by Roland Nielsen. Patrick Vieira. Bergkamp, Williams with him. Dixon didn't really want it on his left foot. Anelka! Arsenal have turned the game right around in the space of 7 minutes. Only Nicola Anelka's second goal for the club. And from a scuffed shot by Dixon, Hedman should have made it his, failed so to do, and paid the price. The deflection didn't help Coventry's cause, but even so, Nicola Anelka should have been denied by Magnus Hedman in the Coventry goal. It's between Whelan and Lee Dixon, and a yellow card produced in the direction of Whelan is no great surprise. And it was Vieira who took Huckabee down. Vieira, who has already been booked for a foul on the same player. Gremondi is struggling enough to get control of Huckabee. Some referees might have given a free kick for Huckabee's aggression, but Mr. Lodge has given one for the subsequent foul by Patrick Vieira. Telfer has delivered these well all afternoon. Appeals for handball, it was by Vieira, and it's a penalty. And Patrick Vieira has got to be extremely careful. But if he does stay on, which I think he's going to, then he's going to have to watch as the penalty is taken, and he's spoken out of turn, and he's off. A total lack of discipline from Patrick Vieira. You could see the referee warning him that he'd already been booked, and any further indiscretion would cause a red card. But still, Vieira, having given away the penalty, couldn't keep control of his temper. He's reluctant to leave the field, but Patrick Vieira is the 9th player to be sent off during Arsene Wenger's reign at Arsenal. And Gary Lewin, the physiotherapist, as Wenger watches on, having to be dispatched from the bench to escort Vieira from the field of play. Arsenal have lost their discipline, and now the man of the moment is Dion Dublin. David Seaman, who guided Arsenal through a penalty shootout at Port Vale in the Cup in midweek, now faces up to the man who is on the point, apparently, of leaving Coventry City. It's Dublin against Seaman, and it's 2-2 with an exemplary penalty. And there is not a boo to be heard now around Highfield Road. If there is such a thing as a perfect kick, that is it. If it is to be a farewell appearance in the colours of Coventry City, It's going to be one that will be remembered for a long time for various reasons. Bold. Saltvet. Almost mugged. It's Petit through to Bergkamp, taken out by Williams. There was no covering defender, and Paul Williams is off. He's having to be pointed towards the dressing room. The referee is actually going to consult his assistant. Jeff Pettit possibly had a better view. Well, Bergkamp seemed to fall without contact being made. And Williams still doesn't know whether he's on or off. A second conversation is going to take place. It is. It's a red card. Williams is off. But I have to say that looking at the replay of that, it's questionable how much contact was made between Bergkamp and Williams. 10 minutes to go, and it is, as they say, all happening. 10 aside. And a free kick from a position in which Bergkamp and Petit can be masters, but not this time. Now, this was the challenge that led to the dismissal of Paul Williams. Judge for yourselves. Seaman. Balled out immediately to Bergkamp. He's beaten Nielsen. Bergkamp waiting for support from Anelka, who's put it wide. Honours are shared, although there were phases of the game where honour perhaps wasn't the most appropriate description. Dion Dublin got the second equaliser for Coventry from the penalty spot after Patrick Vieira's handball had been followed by an argument with the referee that led to the first of 2 red cards. The second was dispatched in the direction of Paul Williams, who was sent off for clipping Dennis Bergkamp as Bergkamp ran clear. 5 yellow cards and 2 red in all. A game that had everything but a winner. Fractious and fascinating in equal measure.